And we alive.
Oh, okay. Well, what's up? What you want to talk about?
It's another episode of Freedom Soapbox episode. I don't even know what episode this one is.
Doesn't matter. Like, let's go.
So Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving plays for the Brooklyn Nets,
Yeah.
and over the years he's played for. But he's in huge trouble. He played for Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics, and he's been a controversial figure for a while.
Cause like, what isn't he also the one that was like, oh, I'm not gonna get it the
The
vax?
vaccine shot, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so he.
And he
Okay.
was, and the crazy thing is that he's right now. He's suddenly been vindicated because he was one of the ones who stood on his ground. Matter of fact, that he got suspended, he got
Yeah.
all kinds of backlash, and now he seems like such a genius all of a sudden.
Wait, how so?
Well,
Did
because
new information come out about the vax?
yeah, there's a lot of information about the vax that
Like
you know
information that like
official information.
official information.
Well, for
Because I
one,
mean, I know I've seen a lot of stuff.
I
But
mean, I can just look it up. Pfizer, for one, has come out. I think they were in Congress and they admitted that they never even did a test. Like the test, the efficacy that they claimed that the vaccine had was false. And you remember when they were like, it's 99%
yeah, they literally said it was
efficacious?
99 point like something.
Yeah,
I
it wasn't true.
mean,
And
I think we
yeah,
could have
just a
called
simple
that.
Google search, you see it's all over the place. Um, there's, there's just
Can people sue?
I don't know what's gonna happen. The unfortunate thing with these type of events is that when the truth comes out, is
It's
just
too late because I think most of the country got it.
when the truth comes out, people just kind of the media just brush it aside and they
What's
move
supposed to
forward. And
happen?
now we're having conversations about other things, especially with Kyrie because he's been recently on the news because he shared a tweet about a documentary he wrote, Hebrews to Negroes.
Right.
And I never really heard about this documentary before, but
Not until now.
not until recently we decided to look it up. And anyway, there's all kinds of backlash. He's been suspended for 5 games straight. And the Brooklyn Nets put out a statement, and this statement was really, really derogatory. It was really crazy for
What does
his
it
job.
say? What's the statement?
Brooklyn Nets statement.
By the way, when I first looked up the documentary on Amazon Prime,
Yeah,
I was shocked because if you want to buy it, it's $50. Like they're making money.
there's some really serious cash they're making from that
And
thing.
if you want to rent it, it's $6.
Dang.
And obviously we rented it and watched it, but still, I mean, wow. I hope the guys who made the guy who made the documentary is making money, not just Amazon.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope that it's an actual deal.
Yeah.
I can't even
He
find the
made his
statement.
part two though. There's a sequel to it, and that one's also expensive. But I think we should rent it.
Over the last several days, we have made repeated attempts to work with Kyrie Irving. This statement was put out on the 3rd of November
I think I heard this too.
to help him understand the harm and danger of his words and actions, which began with him publicizing a film containing deeply disturbing anti-Semite hate. We believe that taking the path of education in this challenging situation will be the right one, and thought that we had made progress with our joint commitment to eradicating hate and intolerance. We were dismayed today when given an opportunity in the media session that Kyrie refused to unequivocally say he has no anti Semitic beliefs, nor acknowledged specific hateful material in the film. This was not the first time he had the opportunity but failed to clarify. Such failure to disavow anti Semitism when given a clear opportunity to do so is deeply disturbing, is against the values of our organization, and constitutes conduct detrimental to the team. Accordingly, we are of the view that he is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. We have decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that address the harmful impact of his conduct, and the suspension period served is no less than 5 games. So
Well,
this
first of all, he's always in trouble. That's crazy. But I like that he's always the one who stands his ground for what he believes in, and he doesn't give in. And he shouldn't. I hope he, you know, yeah, it sucks.
when I read a statement like that, it's insane that someone can go from one of your best players. I think at one point he was the vice president of the NBA Professional Associations,
Uh-huh.
which is crazy that you can go from that to he is unfit to be associated with the organization. That's
That is mind
in my
blowing.
opinion, that's dehumanizing. It doesn't. Yeah, he made the statements that he made, but there's gotta be a way that you can uh, disagree with someone without dehumanizing that individual.
Well, first of all, what all the statements by the NBA, everything you read just now and everything that reporters have been, you know, hounding him about, like, they're not real. They're not true. We actually watched the documentary. We understand what the documentary has in the movie, the information that it has in the movie, and they're forcing him to say, I'm actually surprised he went as far as saying, "Oh no, I don't believe it in everything that they say, so like don't worry." You shouldn't even say that unless that's true, but like
He repeatedly said, "I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from."
which means he's Semitic. How can you be anti-self?
So here's the requirements that the Brooklyn Nets said he must do before he can get his job back.
Oh,
And it's not even like guaranteed. It's one of those things where you do this and then we consider if you're gonna come back to work. And there's 6 of them.
okay.
Yeah, the internet is so slow tonight. Apologize, condemn the movie. You pay $500,000 donation to an anti-hate cause, sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, meet with the Anti-Defamation League and also with Jewish leaders, and meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding.
So basically, I think he should just let it. I mean, because this is a power move on their end. It's not like none of this is actually justified. I don't think.
Well, my problem with this has always been that this,
They're trying to put him in his place.
it seems like whenever there's a problem like this where someone seemingly makes a statement that's considered hateful or anti-Semitic, there's never this conversation that happens openly where we have a nuanced conversation about it, where we go deep and ask, okay, why did you come to this?
It's shut everyone up.
Why do can we like talk about it and debate?
Yeah.
Agree to disagree. Let's have an educated conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see some of the TV shows created around, okay, here are some Jewish leaders. Here are some people that made the documentary. By the way, this is a documentary that's on Amazon that's being sold to billions of people.
And they jacked up the prices. Oh, they're really profiting now. It's so wild that it's still, if it's so hateful, why are they allowing it to still be on Amazon? And why is no one mad that it hasn't been taken down? No one's going after
No one's going after Jeff
at all.
Bezos. No one's going boycotting Amazon.
No one's going after the guy who made it.
Right.
It's just him.
So right there, you know, I heard this term called buck breaking, which is there was a clip circulating
It was by
online.
Nick Cannon, right?
Yeah, I don't think he came up with the term, but it basically
Oh, yeah.
is one thing is a idea where when you have or something that was used against the slaves back in the day, where the buck, the one slave that sticks out or stands out and tries to fight, is whooped in front of the rest of the slaves to show him as an example of what can happen to you if you try to do it again.
They
And
did
that's
that in the
a
mafia too.
they did.
So
It's a tried way of keeping slaves in
yeah,
line. It's
it's a
not
power
new. It's a
move.
power move. And I think that, and a lot of people have described these terms that the Nets put out here, these 6 items that they're requiring him to do, as buck breaking. Personally, I think it's ridiculous. Like, how could you expect this is
That
someone's
is
supposed to do all of
baloney.
this? So you're basically telling like you're beneath us. You know, you can't if we're not even gonna have a conversation with you. First of all, we disparage you, and then if you're gonna come play with us, you have to go through all these rituals. It's like a freaking ritual list.
Yeah.
And then what makes you think that Kyrie will want to play for your team after all this? You know,
He should just give it up. I mean, maybe if another team will, take him because he's great.
he's a
But I
very
mean,
good basketball player,
he
top tier.
shouldn't bend down to these rules. I don't know if he's going to, but
No,
this
he's
is
not.
pretty bad.
He's not.
He really
He made.
he needs to be the example.
He's not. He put out a video recently that I saw where he was basically making a call out to millennials and saying, "Hey, look, we all need to stand up because
Hmm.
there's programming happening in the
Yeah.
media in the schools. We're not being told the truth
There's something that's a little bit more important than your career right now,
than your money,"
than your money. Yeah.
which is disappointing.
That
With
you have to lose that.
you have to lose your livelihood, which sort of confirms what he was saying. You know,
Right.
if if you make a statement, because anti-black statements are constantly being made throughout the history of this country. We've
Right.
watched TV shows and movies and all kinds of media depiction of black people in horrific ways, and no one's like,
No one says anything.
no one bats an eye.
No, that's right. But the second you come after, not even Jews, but just specific Jews, really, that's all this is. It's just saying specific Jews who are in power, who basically hijacked the identity of the actual Jews or Hebrews,
Right? Or Jewish people.
Jewish people.
So we watched the documentary. What was your
Yeah.
thought about it?
My thought about the documentary was that it was very, very well researched, and
Low budget.
okay, yes. Okay, yeah. If we're gonna pick at it like that, yeah, it was super low budget. It was just like, it's like one guy did a bunch of research and it's like he wrote a research paper and he was reading you his paper.
Yeah.
And
With a
so
lot
you
of
get
stock
his
footage.
audio and then he just plugs in random stock footage, or he does highlight certain scriptures that coincide with whatever he's saying, and that was pretty much it. But it was very long and it was very well researched, and it was really good. And so, what else are you
I have
asking? Am I a
to.
believer or what?
Well, I have to give him credit. The guy did
Yeah.
an amazing job. I think
Yeah,
his name is Ronald Dalton. I think he
yeah,
did a really good job. It was thorough. A lot of the research that was done kind of took me back to growing up in Nigeria and the history that we were taught, the history that we knew from older folks going back to the village.
And then you brought up something that I didn't even know about you. You're like, oh yeah, I'm a Jew.
Yeah, because none of this stuff is new to me. You know, the idea that
Right.
Africans are Jewish or we have Jewish culture or Jewish religion, that's not
Like,
new to
it's
me.
in your heritage, your
I
genetic, your
know that.
genealogy.
So it's surprising to me when I come out here as an immigrant to the U.S. and that's not
It's like,
normal.
yeah, it's not heard of over here.
I think that anyone who grew up in Africa, we've kind of known, we were taught, maybe not through our education system because a lot
But you
of
were
it
kind of
was.
taught to push that aside and go after and just whitewash yourselves, pretty much.
Yeah, basically just set aside what our original cultures were, and in order to find out more about that culture, you had to hang around at the elders.
Mm-hmm.
And we also had these cultural events that were very very rooted in the Jewish culture, in the Jewish traditions.
Yeah.
My grandma, for instance, was a practicing Orthodox Jew. Like that's not the it's not surprising. So when the conversation is being had on this part of the planet, it's like, how do people not know that most Africans have
It
Jewish
was
traditions?
hidden. It was completely hidden from the rest of the world. The only people who really understand where they come from are the people that came from there and who have the elders to tell them, to pass this on. And usually it's
Right,
just passed on orally. Most of this is not written in books or anything like that. And also, even though some was written in books and there have been documentation, as we saw in the documentary, much of that has been destroyed. Didn't we see a quote from some like Spanish conqueror and like the about with the Mayans? Didn't they
right.
say like let's destroy their language?
Oh, you mean from the
Yeah, from the
documentary?
documentary, they said something like that.
Well, right now, mainstream media wants to disavow the documentary. They're
Well, right.
considering it to be very hateful against Jewish people. I like to think more nuanced than that. Critically think for
Well,
myself.
first of all, I want to say exactly what's hateful about this documentary because I actually didn't see anything that I thought was hateful whatsoever.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's
I
just
I thought it was just
one man's research, and he did a thorough research. Now, if you don't agree with his research, that's fine. You can go do your own research, and we can agree to disagree, or we can debate the facts or the ideas. What I
make
don't,
your own
yeah,
documentary.
the right way to fight hate speech is more speech. You don't censor people, dehumanize people, disparage people. If you have a problem with what Kyrie said, then the right way is not to take his money from him, cut off his endorsement deals, make him go through some type of ritual to appease the gods. It's insane.
It's wild. It's what's going on with him is just mind blowing to me because first of all he did was tweet a link to watch this documentary, which isn't hateful at all in my opinion at all. I did not see hate in that. It was just a bunch of facts. Like, look, there's my research, guys. This is what I figured out. And you don't have to believe in or buy into it. Or you can, debate it, or you can go, yeah, that documentary is not for me, okay? Whatever. It doesn't matter. But and then the fact that everyone in the world could have just ignored it, like no one knew.
It would have gone
It
away.
would have just been like any other tweet. Like,
So that's
but
the
they
other thing.
had to go after him, and then okay, fine.
Well, that's the other thing that the media does, where if they don't like something that you said, they just keep repeating it in loop and loop and keep asking the same question to a point that it becomes a thing. If you didn't like the tweet that Carrie posted, why are we giving it attention?
Exactly what you resist persists, or where your focus goes, energy flows. So now everyone's focused on it just because you gave it so much attention. If you really hate it, you should ignore it.
There's also this thing called the Streisand effect,
Yes.
which is comes from something that Barbara Streisand did in the past. Basically, if you're trying to remove attention from something, but because you keep talking about it, then everybody now starts paying attention to it.
Right.
We wouldn't have gone to go watch this documentary if it never made headline news. But now, uh, sales have skyrocketed on the documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm now paying attention to something to this information, which I think that it's necessary. It's good that we're actually paying attention to it.
Yeah, it is good because it's like I feel like this is like a whole um like it's like when you get new information and you're just like, wow, I have to go process, and you just feel so like enlightened and like, wow, things I'm making connections in my brain now. Like something makes sense, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I feel like now I'm starting to like some of the missing links in my brain
Right.
about like biblical
Mhm.
information and like the connections that I used to always try to figure out and make as a child. I feel like this video just gave me insight into that. So now I'm like, oh wow, you cleared up a lot of missing links or questions that I had. So I feel like this video really helped me personally. But
You know, there's a, you know, it's we're tearing down Kyrie right now.
mhm,
Earlier they were tearing down Ye. But I think that these figures are gonna be rewarded in history because, you know, like them or not, agree with what they said or not, you confirm their you confirm what they say or their argument by trying to ostracize them, trying to silence them, trying to take away their livelihood from them. If someone says something you don't like, there is the even as Christians, the Bible doesn't say,
kill them,
yeah, like kill them or
cancel them,
cancel
take
them.
away their livelihood.
No, you
Cancel them.
don't reward evil by evil.
Right.
You open your hands in a gesture of love and welcome and be hospitable and say, sit down, let's break bread and have a conversation. It sounds like you're not you may not have an understanding or we are not communicating or we don't have an understanding. Let's talk.
Uh-huh.
I prefer that approach than this mob mentality that social media is training a lot of people to have.
I know. I mean, where are the actual religious scholars, and why are they not coming out and going, no, 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 let me tell you my research and what I've done, and let me show you my work that has to do with this, and this is where he makes his mistakes, in the documentary or something like that. But are we fighting over the truth? Is that what it is?
The truth is debatable now.
You can debate it, and you show your research.
You know what's really disappointing to me is that people like Shaq, people like
Mhm.
Charles Barkley,
The people who have
Kareem
made it.
Abdul-Jabbar, and recently Al Sharpton.
Okay.
These people are coming up and they're condemning.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they're condemning Carrie. I don't like condemning people. Cancel culture to me is bullying. If you have, if there's an idea that you're not comfortable with or you don't agree with, there should be an open town square where everyone can sit around, somewhat like the town squares that debates that we're having when there's a political campaign. Everyone should sit down and have the freaking conversation and let
Yeah.
the audience decide for themselves.
Hmm.
This is the beauty of free speech and the beauty of democracy. If if you don't brush things out on the rug and castigate people and go crucify him. He doesn't need. That's what they did to Jesus. They said, "We don't want to hear you. Crucify you,"
Yeah.
and they killed him. We can't keep perpetuating the same thing and then call ourselves Christians. We keep nailing the underdog to the cross. We have to, at some point, we have to be the change that we wish to see in this world.
Right.
It's no longer news that a lot of our history, a lot of the history that's been taught in schools, is either not complete or complete or
Completely
false
incorrect.
at best. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if that's the case, then we ought to be trying to find the truth. And it should
Hmm.
be a journey to find the truth, not a mob attack to defend the status quo.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah.
That to me is not critical thinking. That's not the way science, that's not how people uh, move forward or progress as a society, as a culture, as a society, as a group of people. If we must maintain this contract that we have as a group of people from different backgrounds, different races,
Hmm.
different walks of life, we have to seek to understand each other and not castigate and not dehumanize. It doesn't matter who it's coming from. Okay, maybe Kyrie was wrong. Why don't we all sit around and talk about it openly? I watch these. these shows, whether it's on ESPN or any one of these mainstream channels, and I don't see true conversations or real conversations going on.
Hmm.
It all seems like rehearsed talking points, shallow, empty talking
Yeah, but I
points.
feel like that's just what the people are trained to want.
I don't want
So
that.
I think that's, most of the people, that's what they want. And I mean, also, Kyrie Irving is not the guy who made the video. So he's not the guy who did the research. He's not the guy who made these claims. He also had made statements saying that he does not believe in everything in the video. He's
Right.
not, he's not anti-Semitic, and he's not, being hateful or whatever. Like, why are they? It still bothers me why they're attacking him specifically. Because if you really want to attack someone, you should be going after the guy in the video. Even though I don't think you should go after anyone, but if you really want to get to the bottom of this matter, it should be like, let's go to the guy who made the video, and then let's maybe scholars out there, religious scholars, researchers should dissect all his work and
Create
prove everything right or wrong. Like, check his research.
create a TV show around it.
There we
Let's
go.
all
Like, can we
podcast. Let's
dissect the
all
whole
watch this
thing and
thing.
then like fact check everything he said?
Right.
That would also help.
That's
That
really
would be
how.
like the ultimate way. That's how you figure out the truth.
Right.
What's going on is not, let's figure out the truth. It's, let's, exactly what you said. This is a power move, and we need to defend the status quo. We already decided that certain people are on top, and if anyone questions that power, if any of you people on the bottom think that you're anything than what you are, you're not playing your roles anymore, we have a problem. So we need to make somebody an example. And since Kyrie Irving has a lot of influence, he's the example.
I
That's all
don't
it
agree
is.
with that type. I don't think that society moves forward. Society does not gain anything by cancel culture.
I know,
Uh,
you're right.
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
But it's just two people with their own opinions.
We do not condone any of the
Disclaimer.
views from the video.
Disclaimer: our views and opinions are. Wait. What? How does that go again?
I don't remember, but yeah, like, don't, just don't.
Namdi and Ashley
Like,
are not
we're just
anti-Semitic.
talking. We're not anti-Semitic. How can we be anti-Semitic?
If we know where we come from. Guys, we're one of a human race. All of us, we're all the same. We should be seeking understanding and not trying to uh, dehumanize other people. Let's be better. Let's be better.
Let's be better.
We can be better.
Didn't we all come from the same place anyway? I mean, we all came from Africa.
That is a crazy thing. I don't know why it's
Like,
such a.
didn't, so far, for what we know in humans, we stemmed from Africa.
We
So
all
it
originated from
doesn't
that
matter
place.
what we look like and where we ended up and how things worked out. We all actually came from the same place.
Right.
So in a way, we are all, if we want to call it Semitic.
Yeah, we're all Semitic. Yeah, but it's crazily not an accepted thing to say. But we can be better, and I charge you all to try to be better, to read. We have to read a lot more. Read to understand, read to find purpose, read to expand, read to grow. Stop consuming so much of social media and dumbing yourself down. And that's it. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. You
All
did a
right.
good job. High five.
Moving right along.